All right, Dr. Love is in the building, apparently. I'm about to answer some of the questions you guys left in our last engagement Q&A video. Most of the questions were very similar, so I've kind of bundled them up into like 5 or 6 questions that you guys asked. And so, yeah, let's get into it. You know, why not? Why are we wasting time?
Rigorous. Gang looking rigorous. My champagne, but I'm rigorous. My campaign looking rigorous. Whole team hella rigorous. Lifestyle so rigorous. Hairstyle so rigorous. The top 5 ain't rigorous. If you left out this rigorous. Me and my niggas is rigorous.
The first question that everybody has on the tip of their tongues is Lobola negotiations? Question mark. That's pretty much it. There was a lot. There was like, are you doing Lobola negotiations? How are you doing it? How much are you paying for it? Are you going to document it? And firstly, I won't be telling you how much my family is going to pay for Lobola negotiations. That is a weird question to ask. Will I be documenting it? I don't know. Until then, we'll have to see how we feel in that moment. I do not want to make empty promises, but when that day comes, I probably will document it. But the question is, will I share it then publicly? And you're gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, with what I've just said, you can tell that I have not paid Lobola yet. Otherwise, I would be married, because that is how I take it. That's how our tradition takes it. But genuinely, that's how I take it too. I will tell you this. This is how it has happened so far. I don't know if you know, but in many South African cultures, you have to ask to present yourself, or for your family to present themselves to the family of the woman that you want to marry. And that is usually done in the form of a letter. Your family sends a letter to their family, and they basically, in short words, say, hey, would you mind if we came through like very early in the morning one of these days, and we basically asked for your daughter's hand in marriage? And then they send a letter back going, nah, we're good, or yeah, sure, come through. So that is what I did. Now, I do not have many uncles, many men in my family. I do not have a father. I do not have my mother. It's me. It's my siblings. And that's pretty much who it is. And so I got together with my siblings. I got together with my friends. And we put a letter together. And it was tough, you know, because I was very worried. What if it's Xhosa Samsi wrong? Because my partner is Xhosa. I kind of had the skeleton down, and then I wrote it with a couple of my Xhosa speaking friends just to make sure that it was saying exactly what I hoped it was saying. I did Xhosa in high school, but that was a very, very long time ago. Anyway, we wrote this letter together and had many prints and reprints. I put it in an envelope, and usually what happens is that I think like your uncles or a family member will go and they will hand it over to the other family. In this instance, I just did it to myself. I just did it by myself. I took the letter by myself and I handed it over to her family, who I had already met already. Wonderful people, very kind people, very loving people. And I handed the letter over myself. And I was like, don't read it yet. Don't read it while I'm here. I'm going to leave. Don't read it. It's gonna be very awkward. I don't know what I want to say. Don't do that. Don't read the letter. And so yeah, I went to the Eastern Cape. I gave the letter over, and then I came back home and I waited. And a few weeks later, I got a letter back, also in its own envelope. It came in the mail, and then me and my family opened it, and the letter was very positive, and it was saying, thank you so much for this letter. We are more than happy to welcome you into our home on the date that you have requested. And yeah, that was it. It was wild, man. Like, in that moment, you think to yourself, at least I thought to myself, like, nobody ever trained me on how to write like a Lobola letter. Nobody tells you how do you say it. And I know you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I genuinely Googled. I went online and I looked for like templates, like to see what other people say, how long it should be, like is it an essay or is it like 2 lines? How do you refer to the other people's family? How do you ask for these things? And after doing my research and figuring it out, I then wrote the letter, sent it, I got the letter back, and they gave me the date. That is when I then proposed. Okay, which I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're not supposed to propose then. What are these white things that you guys are doing? Shut up. I can do things however I want to do them. however I want to do them, because it is my life. But yeah, that's what I did. I basically waited for the letter to come back to see that I basically have the blessing from her family, not necessarily to marry her, but they are happy with me to come and chat to them. And so I said, okay, this is my chance to be engaged. Also, I don't like the idea of only getting engaged after Lobola, because one, Lobola is marriage, and so there will be no engagement. But I wanted us to enjoy it. I wanted us to enjoy this Western idea of a proposal and an engagement before I then went to pay the Lobola. Because in my head, genuinely, I can't separate Lobola and marriage. For me, the day that the moolah passes hands and we're all chilling and enjoying ourselves and we're all happy, that is the day that I am getting married, which then throws me to my next point, which nobody necessarily asked. A couple of people asked, when's the wedding day? Traditional wedding. Oh my God, white wedding. What are we all wearing? I am so sorry to disappoint you guys, but there is no current plan to have any wedding of any sort. And I know, heartbreaking. Wow, Sibu, how could you do this to us? I'm so sorry, but I know that you live in Cyril's economy just like I do. And so the day I become a millionaire is the day I will throw the biggest party, and I'll make you guys all party packs. But that day is not in my diary. That day is not in our heads at all. It's not something we're thinking about. Genuinely, it's not something we're even stressing ourselves about at all. The only thing we're focusing on is me getting through a traditional Lobola negotiation day, which thank God I don't actually have to be there for, and also umembe, so because I am a Zulu man, which means my wife will be a Zulu bride. And so we're doing things like that. And honestly, I am understanding it as I go. I promise you, just last week, I was sitting with a family friend, an elder, who was very close friends with my parents when they were alive. And I was genuinely asking him questions like, what am I doing, dude? Like, what am I supposed to do? What's right to do? What's wrong to do? Like, what's necessary to do and what can wait until we have our lives in order? I think the general consensus from many people, including family members, is that weddings are not a necessity. They're a lovely luxury that everybody would love to have. Who doesn't want to celebrate, guys? It's a wonderful thing, but it's a luxury. The other things, though, not so much a luxury, more tradition that we have to make sure we cover. And so even while I'm talking to you guys about all of this, I am also, I'm in a state of trying to understand what I want to do, what my family wants from me, what my partner's family expects, trying to negotiate all of that, and trying to figure out what's the middle ground. Because yeah, the whole Lobola thing is, it's a lot. It's a lot for a little boy like me. Literally the first half of this video was just about one question. But yeah, I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of feelings about it, because even to this day, I'm still trying to grapple with it. I'm still trying to understand what's necessary, what's not, what am I comfortable doing, what's going to perhaps upset maybe my extended family, or upset her family, or upset me. I'm trying to figure it all out. And I think the one thing that I'm appreciative of is social media, because when you go on TikTok and you listen to people talk about their marriages or their weddings and how they did things, you learn that everybody does things differently. People do things, people do it in a way that's best for themselves. And I think that's what I'm trying to focus on, is what's best for me. I'm not going to throw a wedding for hundreds of people, even if it's not 100 people. I'm not going to do that before my life is in order. Getting married, sure, that's something I can save for. You know, Lobola, that's something I can save for. Umembe, so that's something I can save for. Doing a whole wedding before, like, I have a deposit for my house just doesn't, personally, it doesn't make sense for me. So those are things I'm negotiating with, and I'd love to hear your guys' input in the comment section, because I know that you guys do. The second question that I got, I actually have to read it like straight up from YouTube, because it was a big one. Did you prepare yourself emotionally and mentally before meeting her? Hence it was easier. I love, hey, South African black people, we love a hence, hey? Hence it was easier to decide you're going to spend the rest of your life with her. In essence, what I'm saying is, did you know what you wanted, or did she become what you wanted? Ooh, puleng. A little bit of both. I think. A little bit of both. I think I knew what I wanted, but more than anything, I knew what I did not want in a partner that I was planning to spend the rest of my life with. But also, she definitely became also what I wanted. When I saw who she was, what she was about, how she carried herself, I think there was definitely a moment where I went, okay, I see. I think I need to take my camera in because it keeps overheating in the middle of my videos and then I forget where I was. But anyway, we were talking about emotional preparation. To end it off, more than anything, I went to therapy. I went to therapy to find out who I am, what it means for me to be in love, and what marriage means for me. We did premarital counseling. We are still doing premarital counseling. We did premarital counseling before we even got engaged. So that was very, very important for me to do premarital counseling, but also for me, myself and I to go to counseling, because even when I fell in love, when I started falling in love with my fiance, I was very worried. I didn't want to not like play with her feelings, because I knew I was in love, but I just needed to understand, was I actually in love with her, or was I just enjoying the attention that I was getting from such a stunning woman? Like, I genuinely wanted to understand, and I went to therapy and I asked that question. Like, I said, guys, therapy is so nice. You sit there, you sit down like this and you go, Doc, there's this person that I met and I like them very much. Or maybe you've told them already about this person, but for example, you haven't told them. There's this person that I met and I like them very much, to the point where I can't stop thinking about them. They're consuming all of my thoughts and making me feel all nice and butterfly-y inside. But I'm really trying to understand, am I falling for this person because I'm enjoying getting attention from this beautiful person? They're giving me their time, their energy, or am I like just genuinely in love with this person? And I'm not going to tell you what me and my therapist discussed right now, but after a few weeks, I started to genuinely believe that I'm not, this is not like a trauma response. And after we had that discussion with my therapist, I actually felt very proud of myself. I felt proud of myself for being open about my feelings. I felt proud of myself for being cautious about my feelings. I think a lot of people go into relationships and then they realize when they're inside that, I actually just like just chasing this person. I just liked courting them. I didn't actually want to be with them. Or I wasn't actually in love. I was just heavily infatuated. And I sat with my therapist and I spoke to her about it, and I started to understand my feelings a little bit more through our back and forth. I think therapy is a very, very good step if you're trying to figure out how you actually feel about someone, because man, I can tell you right now, there are lots of people, lots of people who are in relationships that shouldn't be in relationships, and not because you're like not fit for one or anything, but because you might have just jumped in not realizing that Bohlale, you weren't actually meaning to be in a emotional, deep, caring, nurturing relationships. You just kind of just wanted the person, or you wanted the idea of the person. And it was very wonderful to finally like almost catch up with myself and not doubt myself and doubt my feelings. It was a really lovely and affirming feeling to be like, no man, to like, I'm in love with her and I love her and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. And another thing I had to understand also is that I will never be a finished project. I will never be 100% healed, and my whole life doesn't have to revolve around making sure I am 100% all the time, because none of us ever will be. We are simply human, and some healing needs to happen in community, whether that is with your friends, whether that is with a romantic partner. Some healing just happens in community. It doesn't happen when it doesn't happen in isolation. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay, another one. How did you know the ring size? How did I know her ring size? I asked her. My people, okay? I don't care who you are. I don't care who you represent. I don't care whether you're dating men, women, or whatever. If you are planning to propose, or if you are planning to be proposed to, please ask your partner for what ring they want and what size they want. This idea of romanticizing every single thing. Hollywood has messed us up. The brain rot that we have as a people, all of us, you, me, we have brain rot because of how much TV we watch and how much social media we consume. And so just for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to be the opposite of that. And I'm going to tell you, you need to take that romantic side of yourself. And this is not to say take it away, not at all. But you need to give it just a little bit of realism. You know, if you watch too many rom-coms, you might think, my partner's just supposed to know my ring size. They're just supposed to know the ring that I want and surprise me, and I'm supposed to love it. And that is why you end up with women with Super Bowl rings and rings or begazela. You know those rings I'm talking about, that 3-tiered cake of a ring on your finger that you didn't even want. So be romantic. Life can still be romantic. Even if you're also pragmatic about things. I think that's how you use the word pragmatic. But for real, talk to your partner. Babe, what do you want? Let's look through pictures. Let's go on Pinterest. Tell me the kind of ring that you want. Also, I think I said this already in my last video, but it's a fun experience, guys. When you don't actually experience together, I feel like you miss out on so much. And I'm sure that there are many women who will tell you that they don't know what it is like to be engaged. They don't know what it's like to see the excitement within their partner to want to propose to them. It's supposed to be something that you guys go through together. You're not doing it to the other person. As much as you might be the one proposing, it's supposed to be fun for the both of you, not nerve-wracking for one and then a complete surprise for the other. So how did I know the ring size? I asked my partner to please go to any shop, American, Swiss, whatever, any jewelry store, and just ask them to tell her size. You go there, they will give you, they'll put like these rings on you, or they'll put like a string around you. Different stores do it differently, and basically then you will know your size. And all the sizes are in letters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, OP. That's also how she knew my ring size, is because we were walking through Mall of Africa, and we walked into a store, and I said, yo, someone over here is gonna propose to me, so I would like to know my ring size, so that, you know, we don't have surprises when the time comes and the ring can't come on or it can't come off. They told me the ring size. It didn't somehow ruin the surprise, you know. She also showed me a couple of rings that she liked and asked me which ones I liked, and I told her. It did not ruin the surprise. It was still amazing when she showed me that box that she got me, and inside the box was this beautiful ring. So I need you guys to just chill with the romantics just a little bit, and be a bit more realistic, okay? Life isn't a movie. Did you ask the family before? Have you met the family? That was another question. I think I kind of answered it before. Yes, I had met the family before. Wonderful people, lovely people. I think it is very important to meet the family because they are your family before you propose, before anything. And I know it's not necessarily very, like, you'll find in a lot of black cultures, in a lot of black families, like the families will tell you, we don't want to meet your little boyfriend. We only want to meet your husband. You know, we want to meet the man who's going to be your husband. I don't know how that's supposed to work, because I have to know that the family that I'm marrying into is a family that is kind, is a family that I am happy to join with my family, you know, because my sisters become her sisters. It's the same way the other way around. She needs to know that my sisters aren't some vile creatures who will just turn on her as soon as we're married or anything like that. So, you know, you can never really know who people are, but I think it's doing yourself a great disservice if you don't at least try to get to know the family of the person that you're marrying. I don't know. You guys will tell me, because I know that thing of don't come introduce your little boyfriend or your little girlfriend to me, and don't. But I don't believe it's that way. And I think, thank God, my mom had always made sure that she's happy for me to introduce her to any partner that I want to introduce her to, and my family is also very open about it. They're not like, you must only introduce the person you're gonna marry. It's not like that. I know for a lot of other people it is, but it wasn't like that for me, and so my family is very, very open in that way. So yeah, I don't know if they necessarily knew I was going to propose. I think her mom knew that I was going to propose. But other than that, I'm not really too sure about the rest of her family. My family knew I was going to propose. My friends knew, she knew, and that's all that mattered to me. How long is the engagement going to be? As long as it needs to be. But I think a part of this question was more asking, what do you think is the appropriate amount of time for an engagement? I think it depends on the couple. I do not see why you would get engaged if you're not planning on getting married. So, for example, that thing of getting engaged and only getting married 5 years later, I don't think there's anything like necessarily wrong with it. But for me, I can't wrap my head around proposing, spending time and money and proposing to someone only to not get married. Unless, for example, you had proposed hoping you were going to get married. Let's say, I proposed today and I'm hoping to get married in December or next year, December or whatever. And then financially something happens or whatever, a situation comes up where you can't. That I understand. But just proposing, not knowing when you'd like to get married, that's a bit confusing to me. So I think if you and your partner are planning on, I don't know. It sounds odd even as I'm trying to say it. I think when you know when you would like to get married, that's when you should propose. I don't think you should propose and then start thinking about when would we like to get married. But also, these are Western things, guys. Like, for other people, white people, perhaps colored people, the wedding is the actual marriage. All in all, it really depends on the couple. I think one of the worst parts of social media is the fact that we compare ourselves to other people, and also we open ourselves up to a lot of inputs and opinions from other people. But I think it's a double-edged sword, because while at the same time, when it comes to other topics, it's very good to have other people's input, because they might see it in a way that you don't see it, and it might actually help you, Maybe you see a lady who's on TikTok and saying, yo, I was engaged to this guy for 5 years, Gandhi. He had no plan of marrying me, and these are the signs that I wish I had seen. That's a good one. But then on the other end, you might be in a relationship where things are actually going really well, and maybe the person proposed and things didn't go as well as you would have thought, so you can't have, maybe Lobola mani yako had to go somewhere else, to something else. I don't know. I'm making a random example, and things don't work out for the next 2 years or 3 years. You shouldn't be listening to people who are telling you, outside people are telling you, hey, say engaged, 3 years, you're engaged, when they don't even know your life. They don't know what's going on. So I think we should be really careful about comparing ourselves to other people and taking in other people's input. Discernment is so important, especially when you're using social media. Social media literacy is very, very important. And so when you see other people who might have been engaged for 3 months and they're telling you, yeah guys, engagement funeki last day 6 months, okanye 1 year max, don't. Guys, life is not a group project, and anyone will tell you that. Life is not a group project. There is no memo, there's no one way to do things. There is your way. As long as it's not affecting other people negatively, then I really think you shouldn't listen to other people. But more than anything, I'd love to hear from you guys. How long do you think an engagement should be? Let me know about yours, maybe. How long was your engagement? Were you engaged very quickly? Or maybe you guys are there for 2 years, 3 years trying to sort your lives out. I would love to know. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, and spend a couple of minutes with me. I will see you very soon with another video. I love you guys. Peace!